Welcome. I want you to imagine the fanciest room ever built and then imagine it simply gone. We're talking about the Amber Room, a chamber of 6 tons of amber backed with gold leaf, once called the eighth wonder of the world, built as a royal showpiece, looted in a world war, and never seen again. Over the next few minutes, we'll chase it from a Berlin palace to a Russian one, through a Nazi heist, and into one of history's juiciest unsolved mysteries. Ready? Let's open the doors. Here's the hook in one line: 6 tons of amber, gone. Not a painting, not a necklace. An entire room of wall panels vanished in 1945. That's the moment everyone gets hooked, because rooms don't just wander off. Over the next few slides, we'll meet the room properly, then watch it get packed into boxes and shipped into the fog of war. But first, let's appreciate what 6 tons of amber actually means. This wasn't a trinket, it was architecture. Let's put the legend into numbers. The room glowed with roughly 6 tons of amber and other semi-precious stones. That's about the weight of a small elephant, all carved and polished. Historians estimate its value at the time at around $142 million in today's money. It covered about 180 square feet, a cozy but absurdly expensive little chamber. And the original panels took 13 years to craft, which tells you how obsessive this project was. Keep those numbers in mind. They're exactly why everyone still looks for it. Here's the twist. This treasure wasn't bought, it was a gift, a diplomatic handshake. Work began in 1701 for Frederick I of Prussia, designed by Andreas Schlüter and Gottfried Wolfram. Then Frederick's son, Frederick William I, handed the whole thing to Peter the Great of Russia in 1716 to seal an alliance against Sweden. So 6 tons of amber literally crossed the Baltic as a gift between kings. It landed in the Winter Palace and in 1755 moved to the Catherine Palace, where it stayed for nearly 200 years. A treasure with a passport. Who knew? Now the mood shifts. In 1941, war reached the Catherine Palace, and the Germans didn't just admire the room, they took it. This is where our story turns from palace gossip to heist movie. The panels themselves were dismantled by a special regiment, packed into 27 cases and shipped west. Remember, they didn't steal one wall, they took the whole room. Let's walk the timeline of how a palace became a missing package. Follow the dates, because this is the whole mystery compressed. In the summer of 1941, curators evacuated the most valuable amber objects, but the panels themselves stayed. Then the Germans dismantled them, packed them into 27 cases, bound for Königsberg Castle, where the room was displayed until 1945. On January 12, 1945, museum director Alfred Rode wrote a single chilling line. He said he was packing the Amber Room. Hours later, the Red Army stormed the castle, and after that, nothing. That's the cliff. The story falls off. So what actually happened? 2 big camps. The first, and most likely, is that the room was destroyed, bombed in the raids on Königsberg, or burned in the fires that followed the Soviet capture. Simple, sad, and probably true. The second camp says it was hidden, concealed in shipwrecks or underground bunkers by retreating Germans. And then there's the spicier legend, the so-called Amber Room curse, blamed for the misfortune and early deaths of some treasure hunters. History, mystery, and a dash of superstition, this story has it all. Let me read you the last confirmed words about the original room. Alfred Rode, the museum director, wrote this on January 12, 1945. "I am packing the Amber Room." That's it. That's the entire ending we have. No manifest, no destination, no follow-up. Rode himself soon vanished into the chaos of the war. For a story this grand, the final line is almost comically mundane, and that's exactly what makes it haunting. After this note, the original room is never mentioned again. But here's the good news, the story has a second act. In 1979, Russian craftsmen began rebuilding the room from scratch, and it took them 24 years. In 2003, the reconstruction was unveiled at the Catherine Palace, and you can still walk through it today. Along the way, 2 mosaic panels and a chest of drawers from the original actually resurfaced in Germany in the 1990s and came home. So the legend isn't only a ghost story. It's a live, glowing room you can visit. The new flag is flying. So where does that leave us? The original almost certainly died in the final chaos of the war, but nobody can prove it, and that gap keeps treasure hunters dreaming. Today, a faithful copy lets us see the legend, but the original's 27 cases may still be out there somewhere. So here's my playful challenge. Next time you're in an old basement, keep an eye out for amber. Until someone opens the right crate, the eighth wonder of the world stays beautifully, maddeningly open-ended. Thanks for chasing it with me.